Hello, YouTube, and hello, Ninth Age community. It's Charles Evershed Gaming, and I've got some more Ninth Age content because it's time for the balance patch. And the big question is, how's the balance patch being done in 2023? And if you're familiar with it, if not, I just want to share it's being released in 3 parts. The first is coming out when this video is coming out, November 23rd. The next one is going to come out on December 7th. And then the last one comes out just before Christmas on December 21st. So what is going into these 3 different balance patches? First thing up for today is we got all our alphas and betas in the Ninth Age that have gotten some pretty, more substantial changes. They're all in the docket. That's your SA, your Dread Elves, your Vermin Storms, your KoE. We're going to be reviewing them and talking about their changes. And a little bit of rulebook stuff and Arcane compendium. So let's get into it. The Arcane compendium. This has had some pretty big changes, pretty important ones, and this impacts every army in the game. So we're gonna go through our change logs for this review. Maybe give a little bit of first reactions, but I mostly want to just get the changes out to you. So some items and spells were reworded for clarifications. Magical attacks rule was moved out of each individual weapon enchantment, and it's just a common rule in insert. I'm not sure what that means yet, but basically I think they're just removing it and putting it somewhere else. Cleansing Light now gives divine attacks, makes that much more interesting. Blessed Inscriptions is now called Eldritch Inscriptions and no longer gives divine attacks. That's a huge change. Dragonfire Gem is a conditional 3-up Aegis and it's a 2+, also quite big. Book of Arcane Mastery now gives an extra spell instead of a casting boost. And maybe we'll be able to see what that looks like. They've got it in. Yes, so it's changing to now where it's going to be, unless the bearer has protean magic, it knows 1 additional spell from that it selects from its learn paths of 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put it on an apprentice or an adept. In addition, it cannot cast a bearer cannot cast a hereditary spell. That's quite interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's a cheaper upgrade for your apprentice instead of going to an adept, but you don't get the channel. Adepts, you can have 3 spells. I'm curious to see how this will go. I'm thinking about Empire Soundstall. There's some things I'm like, that sounds nice. Thinking about Dreadles, that could be very nice on the BSB option. For the Temple Exarch, you're going to have to choose the first, but the first spells are usually pretty good, and then you get an option of 2, 3, 4. It's not so bad. I could see some play of that. The casting bonus was nice, but I guess they just didn't like that. I'm not sure. Truth of Time now modifies advance and agility instead of maximize minimize. That's a big bump. I believe it is +2 both ways. So that is quite powerful. I think for a lot of different armies. Yeah, +2 advance plus agility. And of course they do have some solid caps of, can't be more than a minimum of 3, minimum agility of 1. So that is quite huge. Very big difference. For that spell, which wasn't really taking a lot, but now is very nice. So Unit Divergence is now an area attack of 6x6, which weakens it a bit, but not extremely amount, but it weakens it a bit. Mirror the Veil is the new divination spell for the 6 spell. It replaced the Portent spell. It now gives universal MR3 instead of the combat score thing, and it works against friendly spells. So if you cast it on your opponent, you can make it harder for them to buff themselves. You can also bubble it up now, like other spells in divination. I think the bubbled is only a 10+2, so that it's slightly more interesting than maybe the combat score one, but it still seems very kind of corner case, very niche uses. Ancestral Age and Spectral Blades are swapping places in Evocation, so that's a pretty large shift. I know the Apprentice for Evocation was pretty popular. Grave Calls has is increased in range to 18, but you only get the strength 6 hits when you're within 12 inches. So a little bit more range added to it, but the best effect of the spell is still within 12 inches. Enveloping Embers is also an area attack, 6x6. Totemic Beast no longer has a breath weapon. That's a pretty big hit. Wrath of God is blast range is now always just 2d6. That's kind of helpful. And then Speaking in Tongues is now triggers a fearless or shaken result from discipline instead of affecting discipline tests. Wheel turns now gives always hit / wound on a 4-up universal. I think this is probably a Dread Elf change, since wheel turns on Dread Elves when they could go up to being wounding on 3s was really powerful. And then Raven's Wing sweeping tech now removes scoring instead of inflicting damage. Oh, that's really powerful. That's really cool. It's already a good spell. I guess it sort of got a little nerfed last time. In addition, the target loses scoring until the start of the next friendly magic phase. Okay, so it's only a conditional loss of scoring, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, so kind of nice that they just simplified Wrath of God. Speaking in Tongues, I don't know. 24 inch Hex is... I feel like it just needs a lower casting value almost. Target must take a discipline test. Test is passed. You gain Fearless. Test failed. You become shaken. There probably are some good in-game like shenanigans and like tricks you can pull this off with, where if they become shaken, you can't charge. I'm pretty sure if you're fearless, you can't flee. So there are some seemingly good uses of it. Oh man, they did not reduce the casting values to Dynamic Summon. That's rough. Yeah. I didn't see this in there, but the Cloak of Cinders is pretty powerful. Pyromancy got a new spell. A 7 plus 8 up or 9 plus 18-inch augment. Melee and range attacks suffer -1 to wound. That's very nice. I think Pyromancy is going to have a good year in 2023. So let's keep going on with the 2020, the changelog. So they just removed the Rending Banner from the game, which I think a lot of folks knew that. It looks like they might have just removed Titanic Might, too. Does not seem to be in the book anymore. Yep, so they just removed Titanic Might, which I thought, I think that's kind of strange. I feel like it wasn't that popular. It was kind of popular in things that could use it well, and then other things they couldn't. Yeah. So we might want to just scroll up to Druidism, because Druidism has had a whole overhaul for its just how it does everything. Let's see. Here we are, Druidism. So, ley lines. Instead of measuring from the range of Druidism from the spells from the cast as normal, it can be measured from any forest, water, or hill terrain feature on the battlefield. If so, the range is set to 6. So, its attribute now is called Hidden Paths, which is a 12-inch augment. Target gains Strider. Fountain of Youth is now the first spell, which is a 5/7. It's a 12-inch augment. You can focus it. The target gains, which that's pretty cool. You can focus it. Target raises 1 or D3 health points. No character and or model in the unit with target presence can have more than 1 in the phase. Entwining Roots is the same. Still very good hex. Healing Waters. It's kind of. I guess these ranges are interesting. I can't. I feel like Entwining Roots was a little bit farther beforehand. Yeah, these are all very different ranges now. I'm very curious to see how Druidism's going to just work in the game, but I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really thought about it enough. Healing Waters, still here. 6-up Fortitude and Fortitude +1 to a max 3-up. So that's very powerful on certain things in the game. Like it's very effective on Death Cheater to make Death Cheater a 3+. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Master Earth is a very strong missile, probably one of the best missiles in the game now, actually. 2/6 hits, strength 4, AP 1. Love it. You can't go wrong with that kind of a missile. Stone Skin is now melee attacks against the target can never wound better than the 5-up. It's a huge change from just being a resilience bump. And then Summer Growth is now an 11 up, it's 12-inch ground. Target friendly units within 6 inches of the target point raise D3 health points. Characters and or models with Tarn presence raise 1 health point instead. So that's also quite interesting. I actually don't dislike that change to Summer Growth. Obviously, you could get more health points just on a single unit in one round, but being able to sort of bubble up some healing in a certain area and have access to healing with Fountain of Youth, I think the raising ability, it might be slightly better than it was before, and it's interesting how you can target it a little bit more differently. I'll be very curious to see how people are able to work that out. So yeah, Druidism, huge changes. Binding Scroll went up 10 points. Lightning Van Braces went down 10. The Cleansing Light went up 15. That's actually not that bad for Flaming and Divine. Eldritch Inscriptions went down 25. It seems fair. I still think it'd be curious to see how... I mean, Real to Wound is still solid, but 40 points for just Real to Wound. Yeah. And then Book of Arcane Mastery went down 25. I almost think he could have gone down another 5 or 10. Extra Spell's decent, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. So Word of Iron is going up from a 9 to a 10. Makes sense with the removal of the Rending Banner. Solar Spike is going down on its big cast to an 8. That's nice. Truth of Time is going up. It's a much better spell now. The Mirror of the Veil was just a flat 8. Now it's a 7/10. The Totemic Totemic Summon did go down 1. That's nice. At least the small value went down. And then Deceptive Glamour went up 6/8. Makes sense. It was such a low cast beforehand. And the Wheel Turns is now also went up. So makes sense. That was also a very powerful spell. Dread Elves Beta 3. Dread Elves Beta 3. Well, we're also going to go all the way to the bottom and just start with the changelog. Might be a couple things we look at in person. So Academy Training renamed to Academy Train reworded. I looked at it. Same conditions. They just tried to clear up the language. You know, saying you get the +1 advance the first time you charge. You get an extra rank. If you get these things, if you meet the condition of being in range of an Academy Trained unit. That's about it, really. Just rewording it. Coastal Predator also reworded to be about the unit, making sure the unit is half in the water terrain feature. This mostly because of Corsairs have that rule now. Hunting Bolas just got removed from the book. I was a little sad to see that. I feel like I didn't really get to use them a lot, but I thought it was a really powerful ability, and I feel like it was an incentive for certain units that were slightly underpowered. I'm thinking like the Hunting Chariot gave it a really nice rule. But yeah, that's just gone. Curse of the Phantom Queen has a limit of 2 Veil tokens per phase. That's a solid change. It could be really, really rough if you could use them multiple times in a combat, or multiple times in a shooting phase. And then it's a fixed 3 hits per token, which is fine. That's about what it was averaging anyway. And the casting level went up. Makes sense. It's a great spell. Again, the magic weapon text changed the main rulebook. Morthir's Mirror is reworded. It's just 3 hits instead of a 1d3 + 1. It's fine. Same thing like the Curse. Kinnerin Scales now grants Spectral Blades instead of the Wheel Turns. I think that's great. Real Wounds is very solid on this army. Wheel Turns was great, but I would think Real Wound might be better actually now in most cases than just the flat 4-up. The Dread Prince loses his special rule, Deadly Riposte, which is where if you rolled a 1, he got to make an attack against you, but now he gets back that +1 attack, and now he's got Artistry of Death, which is +1 wound all the time, so that's very solid. Tactician was just reworded. I feel like this was, again, like the Academy thing. They're just trying to clarify, make it more concise and very easy to read. Temple Exarchs lost professional courtesy, which is actually pretty cool because now you could have more than one Exarch in a unit now. So that's, I think, a big bump for Temple Exarchs and just that whole Temple playstyle. Silent Assassin has a new common rule called Hidden instead of Striking the Shadows. I think it's the same thing. They just main rule booked it. Manicore now uses the new common rule exclusive and solitary. Again, just a main rulebook change. Raiding Party loses light troops and ruthless slavers. And the Corsair upgrade now gives light troops and have a new special unit that gives -1 discipline to enemy models in contact. So that's actually a pretty cool rule. I just want to take a peek at them real quick. I kind of looked at them. I think it's quite interesting now thinking that raiding parties, I guess they aren't, they still aren't scoring, but it almost gives Beast Breakers a more niche ability to be really annoying against monsters in that they can rank up now. It's like a unit of Beast Breakers that can't be stomped that gets +1 to wound. It's kind of interesting. It kind of stinks that the Beast Breakers can't be scoring. That could have made them very solid, but it's okay. I think it's a fine change, and the Corsair -1 discipline. I think they had that before, but I feel like it's easier to read and still works well. And again, like you can do -1 discipline and then fear, and then you got -2 discipline. That's pretty solid, but I do say so myself. Select Scene Auxiliaries lost the suppressing volley. Decent rule. Very kind of complicated, slightly complicated use. I can understand why it got removed. It's kind of a bummer. They didn't really get in that many like point decrease, but they are very good. So I don't think you're going to see less Select Singularries. You're really taking them for the repeater crossbow. The Obsidian Guards lost their rule Will Ascent, and they have a new rule Hold the Line, which is the same thing. Again, it's a main rulebook change. I loved the rule Will of the Ascent. I thought that was just such a cool name. So kind of sad to see the change, but it's say the fact just a less thematic name. Harpies have -2 March, so they're now March 16, and they have -1 attack, but they gain a sweeping attack with their strength and AP, which is strength 4, AP 0. I don't know. I think Harpies are in a weird place where, like if you want chaff, they're fine chaff, but also Gorgons are very solid chaff. But Gorgons are getting a little bit of a nerf here of a -1 attack, so I don't know, maybe they'll see a little bit more play. It's not bad with Witchcraft. You could get them up to an 18 or a 20 again for that March. So I don't know. It sounds okay. Or I guess you'd had done that the previous turn, but yeah. Thunder Packs lost light troops, devastating charge +1 and +1 AP, and the impact, but they gained +2 March, Swift Reform, +2 attacks, strength 6, AP 1. So let's actually just look at their profile, because that is quite a substantial change for themselves. So they're now Advanced 6, March 12. They were previously just a March of 10. They have Swift Reform in their base rules, so that's helpful. And then it's a little bit less maneuverable overall, but still can, turn and look where they want to look. The loss of impact hits seems pretty big. I never really got the chance to use them with the impact hits. That seemed like the best part about them is that they had impact hits. 4 strength 6 AP1 attacks isn't bad. They still cause tear when they charge. That's not bad. I don't know. I think I'd be curious to see, and I'll have to look at the points change later to see if they went up or down. It seems like they should have gone down. They went down 20 points to start, and then they went up 5 points overall. So yeah, I don't know. I think I know some people really enjoyed them, and they got some play with some Monster Mash lists, or even just like a really aggressive a list. We'll see how they shake out in this beta 3. Divine Altar just had a lot of wording changes. Like just a lot of different re-nesting of different rules in certain places, and then the effigy of dread lost the ability to increase the range of its effect by spending veil tokens. That's fine. I mean, I think the best thing about that is the fear is just very good for your own troops, more so than to impact the enemy troops. And honestly, I think the thing people like about it best is you just get 3 veil tokens, so that's fine. Last Reigning Touch went up 5. Master of Slaughter down 5, which I was actually surprised. I think it's a really good spear upgrade. Icon, Executor Icon up 5. Kenneran's Pennant up 5. Morthir's Mirror down 10. Thank goodness. Way too expensive forehand. Ring Obsidian Throne down 10. I believe they changed the rule for that too. I feel like I didn't see anything. Ring, no, okay, so down 10. Okay, that's just very nice because that is a nice item, but it was a little expensive at 50, so 40 is even better. The Beastmaster Whistle down 5, the Dread Prince up 10, Beastmaster down 10, Mana Core up 5, Dragon up 10, Mana Core up 5 for the Celesting Officer, the Temple Exarch up 10, Warlock Outcast up 5, Silent Assassin down 15. I think is quite. I really wanted to play one of these guys. Sometimes I feel like I find trouble making the points for it or space for it on the list. So 165 is starting to feel really cheap for what he can do. Selection Spears up 10, Raiding Party down, Raiding Party additional members down, Corsairs up 1 point from being freed beforehand. Shadow Riders up 5, it's fine during core now. We're just going to worry about that. Shadow Riders crossbows down 1 point, if you want to. Warlock Outcast down 5, but the champion up 20. That's a little rough. Harpy's up 5. Harpy models up 2. That seems like the weird direction, even with the change. I don't know. The sweeping attack sounds good, but I don't know if it sounds that good. Thunderpack down. Additional models up 5. Raptor Chariot up 20. I can see that. It's very good. It's just I've been taking 2 of them for a bit, and they really do well. And I know another player in my area that takes 3 of them, and he just loves them. The Divine Altar down 15 is nice again. I'm glad to see that. The Hunting Chariot down 15 makes sense. I have a hard time seeing use for it, but now maybe a little bit more because the repeater battery went up 10. So now you're looking at a actually more significant cost difference between those 2 shooting options. The Kraken down 10. Colossal Kraken down 5, Missile Leviathan down 5. That made me laugh because I think it's the best monster for Dread Elves, and that's all the changes for the Dread Elves. Yeah, some pretty big thing. I feel like I missed this, but I saw this when I was looking through it. I don't remember the Seal and Nine Fleet giving the Academy trade, or maybe that is what it is, and they just actually no, that is what it. Yeah, that they changed that 1 beta ago. Okay, sorry, freaking out. That's still very cool. Definitely good to put on your Judicators. So, and those are the changes for the Dread Elves. Vermin Swarm Beta 2. The illustrious Vermin Swarm. Let's see what they have cooking up in this second iteration of their beta. Oh god, there's a lot of changes. Look at that. So starting in Tunnel Reserve now means that a unit gains Special Ambush Tunnel Marker. Okay, makes sense. Born in a Battle is now placed with a new common rules attached and exclusive. Main rulebook without numbers is removed as a rule. That's fine. It didn't really seem like a lot of people were playing with that. Some people, I feel like people not even familiar, was where it was like a point upgrade on certain things, and it's like when the models are removed, you can like add, when you get to 40, you can add more Legionnaires or more Vermin Slaves. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's just kind of hard to get right points-wise, rules-wise. Yeah, that's fine. Bloodpox Plagues are moved back to the General Armory section. Okay. Maybe it's available in certain things now. Mishap does not automatic wound with AP. Doesn't an automatic wound with AP 2. 2 wounds, automatic wounds if used Trial Terror. Okay, that works. That's probably the best way to do it. Actually, I know it was like it's kind of hard to. There's just different resiliences across all these different weapons, especially with the way the gosh, I can't. I want to say rat ogre's so bad, but that's not what it is. They're Murmillo brutes. That's what it is. Got it. The way like Murmillo brutes are resilience 5, and the other teams are like I think just 2s. Yeah, that makes sense. Automatic wounds. There you go. Easy peasy. And just 1 at AP 2 isn't really that big of a deal. 2 Trial and Terror that could start really doing some big wounds. Now the effect for Trial and Terror is standardized as +1 to wound to all weapons. Okay, interesting. I'm kind of I gotta look at all the weapons now to see how that actually really impacts things. Almost there. Okay, so Giselle Strength 5, Trial and Terror. That's pretty big, just +1 wound. Losing multiple wounds is pretty rough, but again, +1 wound is very solid. God, that's really good for the rotary gun. But it's just D6 +1 shot. Okay, it's good, but yeah, okay, I could see. The 2D6 was obviously very nice too. The globe launcher is now a 3x2 catapult, 18 toxic. That's very solid, I would say, actually. That one might actually be benefiting the best, where before it was you can make it a bigger catapult. Now it is a bigger catapult, but you get +1 to wound. Its range is now only 18, so it makes me think the range went down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. And then the flamethrower, you could go up to strength 4. That +1 wound is better than strength up to 4. So okay, that's very solid across the book. It seems like. I think the only other thing to look at is the Vermin artillery. So yeah, that's still good on the mouse rifle because it's only strength 7 under the hull. So yeah, you can wound those R6 things on 2s instead of 3s. That's very nice. And then yeah, you get rid of the multiple wounds D6, which was crazy, kind of really fun and kind of cool again, but also just that's too much. And then catapults 5x5, strength 4 plus the wound. That's great. Wow, that might really do some wonders for all of the different artillery weapons. And that's a lot simpler. Just to remember it's +1 wound when you go for that extra effect. Giselles gain Aegis 4 up against wounds caused by Trial and Terror. Yeah, that's nice. Rotary guns get +1 shot, so D6 +1 instead of the 2D6. Or the D6, just single D6. Canister launchers, that kind of just all these things. Rat swarms gain Skirmisher and lose the note about never blocking line of sight. Okay. I think that's included in or related to Skirmisher. All weapons lose the line of sight, but lose the line about gaining magical attacks since now that's included in the general rules for magic weapons. Seekers of the Doomblade, strength and AP are now always set. It also prevents the bearer from taking other magic items. Okay, that's interesting. I just want to look at the text on that. Seekers of the Doomblade. While using this weapon, the wielder gains +1 attack value. Attacks made this weapon gain multiple wounds D6, become divine attacks. Their strength is always set to 10. Their AP is always set to 3. Okay, I think they were doing that last one. Okay, I see. Just clarifications. The wielder cannot take any other special items. I guess that was also, it's not only 160, which I think it went down another 20 points or so. Check that out real quick. Or went down another 15, yeah. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be easier to price now that you don't have to worry about how it could be combined with anything. I mean, it seems like it was always about that. I'm sure there was some pretty nifty little combos you could do. You lose those, but now it's cheaper, so I don't know. It's an interesting trade-off. Storm Rocket is now a pistol enchantment that hits that does D6 hits with Strength 5 AP2. I like that. Seems really simple. Plague Hermit's Blessing limitation is now models on foot only. Belle of the Deep Roads loses the ability to re-roll the ambush roll. I'm trying to, wasn't that the whole point of that item beforehand? Bell of the Deep Roads. That's a banner enchantment, right? Oh, okay. So the unit's bear may just start the game in Tunnel Reserve. Okay, interesting. That seems like a bit of a nerf. Again, it looks like it had a price decrease too. Just 5 points. I don't know. I guess I don't know how powerful. I haven't really played against a lot of the ambushing tactics from this book, so I don't know how strong that is. I mean, you could reasonably you could take it on one of your larger special units, right? And that seems pretty potent. Trying to get, yeah, I mean, you could take it on like Murmillo Brutes, sort of deep strike with them, quote unquote. Or can you take it on a Big Unit Plague Disciples? Yeah, you could take it on a Big Unit Plague Disciples. That could be pretty annoying too. So, yeah, I guess it's a powerful ability to be able to come up from this Tunnel Reserve marker, especially if you're playing into that sort of style list. So, okay. Banner of the Last Storm is removed. That's probably seems about right. I mean, it was just one of those things that was just hard to not ever always include, and then hard to kind of get right, and then hard to balance. And yeah, I think that's for the better. I think it was always one of those weird items of just why did this faction have this banner? Well, the legacy, right? And it's just like, okay. Crown of Hubris is now does now inflict 3 hits to get 3 Veil tokens. Okay. Map of the Deeps now gives the ability to detonate tunnel markers. Okay, well, that's cool. So now you can run the prefect, or you don't have to now. This kind of seems like a weird sort of debuff to that prefect. I wonder if they changed him at all. I feel like I'm always getting ahead of myself in this. Immediately after each Siphon of the Veil of each friendly magic phase, each Stevening Over may move a single friendly tunnel marker 6 inches that is not in contact. Move this tunnel marker in a straight line. The Stygian Overseer just does all those shenanigans now of the moving the tunnel markers, and now you need the map to detonate them. I feel like that seems like it reversed. Huh. But now I guess it looks like you can take it on a Vermin Senator too. So depending on how many tunnel markers you take, you can sort of place them down. You can't move them if you're a Vermin Senator, but you do have something fun to do with him. So, okay. Orbiadius now gives +6 range to the cost of 1 Veil token and +1 mishap hit. Seems like a decent range. I guess it depends upon price. Order's Toga is now 0-2 in limited models on foot. Call the Apostate now prevent the bearer from taking the crown of the Wizard King. I think this is going to be this is a huge debuff that was coming. Just that combination was so powerful. I remember somebody was saying it's very. I think it might be worded poorly right now, but yeah, I mean, you basically got to make sure that this guy can't take the crown. It was just too good, right? It was like so cheap. You got the effects of Wizard Adept with 1 spell across any It's just like the possibilities. Like, how do you balance against something like that when it's so random? Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think anyone's gonna, nobody but Vermin Swarm player is gonna be sad that that is not a thing anymore. Tariana's Lyre has now a range of 8 inches. Ruminous Dictator now has Holy Triumvirate and counts as the Silesian Pantheon for the purpose of it. Well, that's cool. I think that probably actually will help both increase his play and probably also increase using other wizards with him. House Prefect gains +1 defense, +1 offense, heavy armor, shield. That's nice. Scordisher Alchemist now gives Lightning Reflexes unit without needing sacrifice models to activate it. Love it. Stygian Over now it gives the ability to move tunnel marker. Okay, so I think he used to blow it up. Now he moves them. Now the map is what blows it up. Doesn't move them. Okay. We're all good there. Swarm Priest of Ermon option now includes the Bloodpox Blades, so that's quite nice. That's why they move with the general equipment. Dustblade Assassin, Dark Doors, rule puts hidden. Same thing like the Dread Elf Assassin. Main rulebook. Whispering Bell gain the new common rule defeating Clamor, which I think is probably the -1 march within 18 inches. I bet that's what that rule is. The 6+ Aegis now only affects rank and file models that are not gigantic or constructs. It's fair. I'm sure it was really nice on gigantic or constructs, but that's fine. Vermin Legionnaires now have the shield in their profile and the spear as the only equipment option. So that's fine. Let's see if they got a point increase or anything like that. Black Fur Veterans lose the Frosty formations and gain Phalanx, reroll 1 to wound when in line formation. Okay, so they lost the ability to get the better armor save when they're deep. It's fine. They don't really need it. Slaves now get the rule for +1 to hit when shooting at models in base contact with the slaves. Okay, slaves hate slaves. Plague Disciples, Fear No Evil rule now also gives Fearless when steadfast, including a Priest Airmon, and the unit now gives Swift Stride. Oh, so did they rewrite that whole rule? Because before it was you could be unbreakable, right? So while the model unit is steadfast and does not suffer from strengths, it also gains unbreakable. Okay, so it's still there. And fearless. In addition, while joined to one or more characters called Airmon, charge. So it's just better. Okay, that's awesome. We love it. We love rules getting better for Vermin Swarm. I mean, they've had some serious debuffs. They need some buffs somewhere. Giant Rats lose the Dire Rats option. Mermula Brutes, Halberd, and Shield option now includes paired weapons. Okay. Ignifarian Grenadiers unit is now 5 to 10. That's, I think, yeah, so their minimum size is down a little bit. That's probably nicer, actually. Eradicate Mouse Rifle gains clipped wings. Gains clipped wings? What the? That's very strange, since I'm pretty sure a lot of other things are losing it. Or maybe they're just saying it gains, it's multiple wounds D3 +1 right now. Okay. Maybe that's what they're saying, because I think clipped wings is being removed in a lot of places. The Scorched Ordnance is now 5x5. Stygian Earthbreaker now has 3D through grind attacks. That's very nice. And Dreadmill Chariots are now Advance March 7. Okay, so that's actually a big upgrade for those chariots, since I think they were just like 5 beforehand. And they still have that, gain D6, so now they have a much... they have an even farther charge, and they have a much farther threat range, because I think their threat range beforehand was like max 17. So if you could stay out of 17 inches, you could just zone them. So that's a very powerful buff for them, actually, to be able to go up to 19 now. So 19 is like a bit more of a further charge for most things. So yeah. Very nice. And then, so the Doomblade went down, the Rocket went up, the Bell of the Deep Roads went down, Chronic Hubris went up, the Map of the Deep went up by 25 points, because, again, I think beforehand it just moved things around. Prefects down by 15, and he got all that equipment. That's nice. The Alchemist went up, though, so it looks like they just maybe moved those points to those upgrades. The Swarm Priest, his Blood Plaques blades aren't free. Now you have to pay 10 points. Vermin Slaves went up. Plague Disciples went up. Mermill Brutes went down. Additional models for Brutes went down. The Halberd Paired Weapons Shield option went up 5 points. The Mermill Brutes Rotary Gun went up. Deep Thrower went up. Grenadiers went down, but again, they also lost models technically. So I don't know if that's technically a points decrease or just the models change. Experimental Weapon Team went down. The Rotary Gun went down. The Deep Thrower went up. And then the Doomspark device went up 25 points. Not really a big surprise. The Artillery went up 5. The Mouse Rifle's free now. It's not too bad. Again, it's easier to balance, right? It doesn't do D6 wounds anymore. And then the Artillery went up 20 points. That's interesting. It's interesting that they think the catapult, they're justifying the catapult's better than the rifle. That's quite interesting. Earthbreaker went down 5, and the Chariots went up 5. All right, and those are all the changes for our beloved Vermin Swarm. The Kingdom of Equitaine Alpha 4. KOE. Let us see what is going on. They also have quite quite the lengthy change log. So the blessing remove restriction for Aegis while fleeing. It's helpful. Less thematic, but helpful. Phase Spirit removed rule. Let's see that's even about. This model gains fearless magic attacks. Phase Spirit can only be joined by damsels or models with a Phase Spirit. So I'm curious how that's gonna play out across the book. Gallantry removed example limit. Knight Banneret removed ability to ignore or refuse dual penalties. Ordo Minister redesign and clarification. Yeah, it just seems less restrictions. I guess since Phantom Youth is not a thing anymore, that was the biggest thing in this ceremony. Can still take Druidism, or can. Yeah, Orison reworked. Ordained is a new rule. Mount Support is a new rule. Let's take a peek at those. Ordained. Okay, at the start of pre-sequence, add 1 blessing token to your pool. So I guess they're not doing Orison tokens, or no, they are still Orisons, but they're not blessing tokens. I liked Orison tokens, but whatever. Blessing tokens. Okay. And you can never have more than 6. At the start of step 7, add 1 blessing for every 3,000 points. Okay, so you get 1 to start in most 4,500 point lists. So, and then, they just reworked how the Orisons work in general. So striking is the same. Order of Discipline, they removed the Fear Terror mechanic. It's fine. Discipline sets 9. It's not bad. I guess if it's in a spot where you don't have some discipline, but you still got your Ordo Sergeants, it's not bad. And then shielding got a slight debuff because it's only Aegis 5 up now. So that's slightly worse. That was definitely the best part about it, right? Especially since they've changed the I guess there isn't even a max 4+ anymore because you don't really need it anymore. And this is gonna get. I saw somebody already make this comment. It's gonna be Aegis 5+ against magical attacks, where this is the Aegis 5+ with the following restrictions and whatnot. So interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's quite the big change already. Knowing that their Aegis saves are never going to get above a 5+. That's quite big. I missed that prepared positions was also a new defensive rule for archers and hooded men. Okay, so it must be just in there. The thing. The Saint has been reworked. Courage and Honesty are just a flat 5-up Aegis with their conditions. I'm guessing it's supposed to be their conditions, otherwise I don't know why their text is so big or why they have 2. Ordeal is redesigned, I just kind of flashed through it. Lance Formation is reworded. Bastard Sword redesign. Mortal Reminder gains Tear. That's kind of cool. Sacred Talus removed Orison Restriction. That's nice. Equitaine Lord removed Paladin option. Increase special item allowance when general or sainted. Honor redesign. Honor redesign. Forbearance restricted to shield. Faith gains divine attacks. Remove Ordo Minister limit change. Generosity reworked. Paladin new character entry. Okay, I was resisting sliding up because I was trying to just go through the change log, but oh my gosh, so prepared positions. Okay, you get like a wall train feature. That's kind of cool. And then Sainted, so you don't get the Orison. You gain Fearless, +1 attack. In addition, you're always under the effects of Orison Shielding, Orison Striking, and Orison Discipline. And then this does not prevent the model's unit from being the target of an Orison, but the model does not gain the benefits from this additional Orison, which, again, you can't really gain any more. I guess the only one you could gain a benefit of is Striking. Yeah, the Sainted kind of got some serious debuffs, I would say. It's definitely going to be, it's probably almost best on the Damsel now because she wasn't, she's only Discipline 7. Now she goes up to 9, but I feel like it kind of did that beforehand. Ooh, she lost Orson in general. Ouch. Oof. They're really going down hard on Kiwi, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, people have been saying they're really solid. Sainted, I'm guessing that's down. Sainted, only 10 points. That does not seem like enough. Because, I mean, you're only really gaining the benefit of the strike, right? You're already Discipline 7. I mean, you're getting a +1 Aegis. Yeah, oof, I don't know. Yeah, that's really rough. That's rough, bud, as they say. Yeah, so now you have a whole paladin now who's got honesty, he's got heavy armor, he's not a leader, he's got righteous might, close combat, failed to wound rolls of close combat attacks against a target that has a specialized might must be rerolled. Okay. Um, yeah, interesting. He can be sainted. But again, that's not like that big of a upgrade. It's a lot of points for really just like. I mean, yeah, you're always a 5-up Aegis instead of being a 6-up Aegis instead of having to worry about the conditions. But I feel like really you're just talking about getting a better Aegis or better hit. I don't know. I don't know. He's got decent stats. 4 attacks, at offensive, defensive 7. I don't know why they. I guess he's a better fighter than your Equitaine Lord. Huh, he's just supposed to be a really good fighter, I guess. And obviously he's got a lot of options. He can even take a unicorn. His lance. Yeah, this is a strange change to me. I actually thought the paladin worked well as just being an upgrade to get like divine attacks. This guy doesn't even have divine attacks now. Huh. Yeah, these are some really big changes. I mean, thankfully, this is Alpha 4? So we're in the middle of this design process, as we can see, because this is just going all over the place. I think the thing that really made me want to scroll up was the Bastard Sword got changed. Oh, so maybe get more horse attacks now? Bastard Sword is a hand weapon. Attacks with it gain +1 strength and devastating charge, +1 AP. That actually gives you a reason to charge, which is helpful. Yeah, because otherwise beforehand it had these kind of the funky rules. So now it's just always +1 strength, and if you charge, you +1 AP, which is probably pretty big actually, considering the Rending Banner's gone, and that was the banner upgrade for questing knights. Interesting. Okay, that seems quite a big difference. I saw this while using a shield. You only get distracting. It's fine. It's kind of gonna, I guess, incentivize using a lance with that upgrade, that honor, that I principle. Models rolls through the charge range is subject to maximize. That's nice. In addition, while engage enemies in the front rank, you get +2 attack. Okay, that's pretty cool. That might be, yeah, that might be nice. On a still kind of incentivizes the solo guy, I guess, but yeah, interesting. Alright, so the folk hero offensive defense is increased to 5. Sainted item allowance increased. He gets a bastard sword and a lance for the Castellan. Okay, cleric no longer gives Orison. Yeah, it seems like they removed Orison in a lot of places. Wow, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, it's a cool mechanic. They're really nerfing it hard by decreasing it from a lot of places, and then the effects are much less powerful than they were. Castellan now only gets +2 attacks. Heraldic Steed removed impact hits but gains devastating charge. Revered Unicorn Advance and March changed to 10 and 20, gained Strider. Phase Steed gained Fearless. Ordo Sergeant's Ordo Minister included in base cost. Shield moved from base profile to Lance option. Base armor now changed to 2. Lowborn Archers gain new prepared position rule. Longbow comes with new archery drills rule to shoot in 3rd and 4th rank. So I'm guessing that means they lost accurate, which is probably right. I mean, I know they were just so popular. Yeah, so now you're not accurate. Oh my gosh, that's fine, right? Like, they were so good. But now you can shoot in the 3rd and 4th rank. That's nice if the unit has at least one full rank. So yeah, I mean, 20 of these guys take up a lot less space than they did beforehand. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I mean, I think they're still fine for what they do, being a cheap scoring unit that shoots. I think you're still going to see them. Maybe you see less of the spam. I was just listening to Evertime podcast where they're talking about a tournament we went to in Germany where somebody took almost 90 of them in the list, and I mean, why not? They were very solid. Men-at-Arms shield added to base profile. Paired weapons removed from Avowed Armsman. Sacred Relocation has clarification for new BRB rules. That's fine. Knight's Pendant gain Courage. Base armor changed to 2. Draw 4 Strength and AP reduced. Lose option for Ordo Minister. Hedge Knights gain Light Lance and paired weapons. Horse renamed a Cob, which is strength 4. Love it. We love a Cob horse. Hooded Men option for prepared position can take crossbows. That's pretty cool. Siege weapon Trebuchet is now changed to 4x4. So again, that was kind of an experiment. Let's do it to 3x8. Now they're just going to keep it simple, 4x4. Which again is a little bit more effective against certain things. You can do less hits overall, but it is what it is. More hits against ranked up units, smaller ranked up units. Pegasus Knight base armor is 1. So I'm guessing, does that mean they have less of an armor save now? Because they did have access to that 2-up armor save, I want to say, right? Pegasus Knights. Heavy armor shield, just 1. Okay, so they a little bit of a nerf on those Pegasus Knights. Oof. Yeah, this is definitely the KOE nerf hammer for this update. This is probably the roughest one we've seen. Vermiswarms had some buffs, some decrease. Dread Elves, kind of same thing. Some buffs, some nerfs. This is almost straight nerfs across the board. But again, a lot of people were saying KOE was very strong. I mean, I actually played a game against my dad recently, and he played his Bretonnians way back in the day, and he hasn't played in a while, and he was like, hey, we should play a game. And I said, sure, let me put a list together. And he crushed my ogres. Slightly, not trying to gun hard for him, but I think I charged my Mammoth Hunter BSB into Tusker Cav into a Questing Knight block, and I just bounced. Yeah, I mean, they're so tough. And he was like at the Rending Banner, +1 to hit, like he just cut through me. It was really brutal. Yeah, so Pegasus Knights got a small debuff, or a pretty big debuff, losing an armor. Sky Heralds removed impact hits and added devastating charge. New mount support rule allowed steed supporting attacks. Okay, so that's cool. I guess maybe that's what. Oh, maybe that works. That must work for the Pegasus Knights too. Okay, that's pretty cool. If that's maybe the same option, maybe they're just for the Sky Heralds. Naiads reworked to include new BRB rules, remove Face Spirit. Same thing with the Friar's Lantern. Same thing for the Face Courtier. It had an advanced march change to 612. I'm guessing that means it went down. That seems pretty slow compared to what it might have been. So that seems like a small debuff, but I mean, the model's still really good. And then, hey, if you take the Courtier of the Dawn, you still go up to Fly 816. And you're still a Wizard Apprentice, so I don't know. It still seems good for what it does. I'd say Awaken the Beast is solid. Probably Druidism or Witchcraft Adept is probably better. Because those are just good spells. But hey, that's free, and you're still flying. So yeah, Fly 16 is Fly 8, 16 is anything to be sniffed at. And then the Fey Knight reworked to include new BRB rules, remove Fey Spirit. The champion Green Knight Aegis now melee only, and then the Warden multiple wounds now against Towering Presence. So that's a slight change. I mean, he still has an Aegis 5 up. It's just a 4 up now in combat. It's not the end of the world, really, I would say. And then multi wounds against Towering Presence. Before it was large and gigantic. A little bit of a nerf on the Warden of the Hooded Man, but still mostly effective. All right, point changes. Divine Judgment up, Tristan's Resolve up, Uther's Metal down, Mortal Reminder up, so it gets Terra now. Bristle's Panoply up, Prayer Etched up, Relic Shroud up. Man, it's just everything is just going up. Banners up. Banner Roland's up. The Castellan's Crest is up. The Banner Eland's down. Black Knight Talbot's up. The Damsel went down 15 points, which again, to my understanding, she lost to the Orison token, blessing token she provided. So her mounts all went down. The Equitaine Lord went down for his base price. His Sainted price, Generosity went up 20 points. Valor went up 5 points. Excellence went up 10 points. Forbearance went up 10 points. Faith went up 10 points. His all his steeds went up 10 to 15 to 5 points. The Folk Hero's up 5 points. His mounts up 5 points. His face steed's down because his Invictus. His Heraldic steed is down. His Unicorn is down. His Charger is down. The Castle upgrade is down. And then the Minstrel is down. The Ordo Sergeants are up 10. Their additional modelers are up 1. They do get free great weapons now, so that seems decent. The levies are down. Their additional models are down. Their shields are up, though. Archers went down because, again, they're just not accurate anymore. So they're probably going to be easier to price. Men-at-Arms went down. Additional models went up. The Forlorn Knights went down. The Knight Banneret went down. That's nice. Reliquary went up. Knights Resplendent down a little bit in both their start and their additional points. Knights of the Quest additional models went up 15. Wow. Whew, that's really steep. I didn't realize they were 60 points a pop. Were they like they were 60? I mean, I remember I made a list for my dad, and again, it was like that. I made a full unit of these guys, and it was super expensive. But I guess your base size is already 6, so really, the 60 points got added to the unit. Okay, it seems less extreme when you look at it like that. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, it seems like a lot. It is. I mean, it is quite a bit for points per model. But overall, it's only 60 more points on a unit. It's expensive, but I mean, they're already pricey. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. Hedge Knights base cost went down. Additional models went down. Yeoman additional models went down. Hooded Men went down. Pegasus Knights went down, but probably not enough for losing a pip of armor. Sky Heralds went up for additional model. Naiads went up. Naiad Champion down. That's nice at least. Fire's Lantern went down 20 points. Phase Courtier went down. The Dusk upgrade went up. And then the Fey Knight went down. And the Hooded Man is now free. Goodness gracious. That was just a lot of different things going on in KOE. And they are really getting hurt bad. I mean, I would say the army still seems solid and still very good in a lot of places, but definitely some of the things that were really powerful have really got hurt really badly, and some of the things that were just kind of bent, like the archers having accurate, that's changed, so that now they just don't have that. that upgrade. So, good, bad. I don't know. We'll see how people feel about it. It'll probably one of the more talked about alpha changes, I would imagine. Oh, these Saurian ancients in their second alpha. Well, let's look at all these changes. I'm sure they've also got quite the change. Actually, you know what? They have a lot of. They seem like they have a lot of price changes more than they actually have changes. So that's interesting. Oh, so okay. Damn, combined strength just gone. That's a bummer because that was probably one of the coolest things they could do. But looks like maybe it's being replaced by this Canaan Mentors special rule, since that was the biggest thing that combined with other things. So we'll see. We'll see when we get to that. So communal bond is slight rework. Cayman Mentors rule added to allow the merging of Cayman units with Skink and Tegu. Okay, so that's combined strength. Mostly, there's a few other things that could combine. That I'm curious if they still can do that or not. Enclave Wizard changed to a Wizard Apprentice Channel 1 for models with 2 spells. Okay, that works. Yeah, so that works very well. To nerf some of the core Enclave Wizards and then still make the special ones worthwhile. Okay. Predator Senses now works with shooting attacks. Okay. Enlightenment. Casting value changes. Base gives -1 hit and boosted gives -1 to wound. So is that saying that... Oh, okay, so it's either -1 to hit or -1 to wound. Slight decrease in casting values. Interesting. Still universal. I mean, I feel like there's not really a case where you're gonna want like the -1 to wound on your own units, unless you're like. I don't think stalling is a very big tactic in the Ninth Age. It's pretty rare, I would say, where you'd want to stall like that. So more so, you're going to suffer the -1 to hit if you really want the discipline on your own troops, which again, it's a cheap discipline buff, or you're gonna decide whether or not -1 to hit or -1 to wound. I kind of think I liked it just being boosted, but then it was a really powerful debuff. Now you gotta pick. Yeah, it's probably better like that, but I thought it was crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Venice Fortress, remove reference to combined strength. Okay. Suncatcher Crystal, rework device from shooting weapon into combat buff device. Interesting. Which is probably not a bad idea since there was quite a few shooting things. Engine of the Ancients, increased limit to 3 per army. I guess because they did get rid of one thing that shot things. Vital Essence, rework into light armor enchantment that gives Fortitude 4+ and +1 HP. Interesting, because Vital Essence, was that the one that beforehand it was... Let's just look at it. So Vital Essence was previously a shield. A bear gains 4+ Fortitude and then +1 HP. And before it was you gained a 6+, your health points are set to 4. And then okay, so that's much better. And 80 points really isn't all that bad for that. You don't get any extra armor buffs or anything, but that seems better than what it is. There might be some cases where it was previously better. It seems like generally that's going to be better for you overall. And let's look at the Suncatcher Crystal while we're up here. At the start of the round of combat, models unit fighting, choose one of the following effects, which is applied until the end of the round of combat. All friendly units gain Fortitude +1 for max of 3, so that works on something like the Vital Essence. For each model in the Suncatcher Crystal, engaged in the same combat. The model gains grind attacks, D3, 2d3 that are always resolved to strength or AP1. Yeah, that sounds, for 40 points, that seems good. Yeah. Oh, it's for each Suncatcher crystal in the game. Okay, no man, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you would want 3 in the same unit. Whoa, that's very good. Wow. That's pretty sick. Okay, that's really cool. I like that. That seems worthwhile. I thought it was a cool shooting profile beforehand, but that seems like a very nice combat buff. Koru Stone, the range is increased to 12 inches. I believe that's the the BSB reroll. Skeptic Steel, items removed. I don't think anyone is surprised by that. It's just the no ages saves. Heart of Atua, also that item is removed. That was the one I think that increased your commanding presence to 12 inches. Yeah, nobody's surprised about that. No, gotta go down. Yeah, Heart of it. Yeah, so it was only in the comp. Yeah, whatever. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I think the essay book will survive without it. Let's see. Arcane gained Channel 2 and Discipline lowered to 2. Well, I mean, good thing he's never your general or anything like that. Wow, he's only Discipline 2. But he gains Channel 2, which actually makes his that decision you have to make between the channeling or the +1 to cast, that makes it a bigger choice now I would say beforehand. Astrological Mastery removed. I can't remember what that was offhand. That was the one where you got to... I feel like you weren't seeing that a lot, but that is a bit of a bummer because I thought that was a really cool one. I feel like they need another one. There's only 4 now. Like Forbidden Mastery for the Pyromancy, that went up. Not surprising. I mean, they also made it so they really. There's not a lot of options, not a lot of ways to configure, combine these anymore. I mean, you've got Forbidden Mastery on its own, or you can do one of the 3 remaining in some kind of combination together. Oh no, sorry. There's a couple more now. There actually is more. Still have only 2. Okay, sorry, it's just the second page. So they added Mind Shifting Mastery. After successfully casting a learned spell that has an attribute spell, the model may cast the attribute spell of Alchemy, Divination, Druidism, or Witchcraft instead of learned. Okay, that's actually pretty potent. And they got rid of the protein magic. Honestly, I think that's better. Like having access to like all the different attributes of these magical paths rather than I honestly didn't really think the protein ever seemed that attractive. I feel like it was a more popular-ish build. But yeah. Okay, so never mind. I was a little freaked out. I was like, there's like only 4 of these things, but there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's still 6 different combinations. Couple cheaper ones now, or you can still pay about 100 points for 2, or just Forbidden Mastery. Okay, that is a lot less drastic than it seemed. I was like, he's got nothing here. Yeah, okay. Strider Water added to Tegu, Skinks, and Cayman. Strider Water is back, baby. I do remember hearing a lot of people say, they lost Strider Water. They lost Strider Water. I feel like I didn't think it was a huge thing, but it's a nice little buff. I mean, if they're not like getting a ton of points, it's fine. Onrock Warden's Discipline changed to 8. That's like the mount upgrade for the Onrock. The Pauke Sky Tyrant gets Vanguard and Special Ambush, Open Terrain, and removed High Altitude. That's fine. It was kind of a weird niche rule. That definitely. I mean, it's just Special Ambush, Open Terrain too. So that's really, I guess that means you can ambush anywhere. So that's pretty cool, actually. Tegu Warriors added Keyman Mentors with weapon options. Same thing with Skink Warriors, Skink Hunters, Enclave spell changed to Entwining Roots. Okay, so they did that for both. I was going to say Skink Warriors and Hunters. Okay. I feel like it's kind of a little frustrating, if you ask me, that they have the same spell. I didn't know if Healing Waters was that good, but then I guess if you had a Healing Waters, you wouldn't have any choice or any reason to take the Suncatcher Crystal. So it's like you can still get that good save, you just can't necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It kind of stinks, but I think Twining Roots is also a great spell. Not as good as just a straight Fortitude, to keep your models alive, but it is very good. Tegu Mystics, Enclave spell, Swarm of Insects change to Awaken the Beast, and then Twining Roots change to Fountain. Okay, so really they moved some of those spells over to the Tegu Mystics. Cayman Altars, Enclave spell, Summer Growth changed to Healing Waters, and Awaken the Beast added. Okay, yeah, Summer Growth is pretty powerful now and very different than what it was beforehand. Thyroscutus Herd. New rule. Herd mentality. War platform added to Great Protector. So that's a little bit of a debuff on the Great Protector. Since it was nice where he didn't have to be in the center unit. No, he does. That's fine. Rank and file models in the unit containing 2 or more models with herd mentality gain Stubborn and Fearless. That's actually quite good to be able to get that Stubborn back for this model. So that's pretty cool. It's not crazy. I think the big unit is hard to shift anyway. So just making it even harder to shift, or just even, yeah, it's actually probably pretty powerful, since I feel like the 2 or more of those things is pretty solid. So. Saurian Swarms added Fearless and Stable, Predator Senses, added an option for Scout, changed to Standard Beast, Discipline changed to 5, Strength and Res changed to 2, increased max size to Unit 6. Okay, so just kind of a lot more Swarm-like than what it was before. Weapon Beast increased max unit size and removed unit/army restriction. Salamander Spout Flames increased to Strength 4. Spirit Rack now gains Predator Senses, and Shoot Spikes aim changed to 3+. Shoot Spikes reduced range and increased strength. Removed restriction to Shoot Spikes and added March and Shoot. So it sounds like a lot of buffs. Were people really not taking any of those guys? So just 2 to 4 models now, and no army restrictions. Oh, I guess you still have 0 to 4 models in army here and 0 to 2 here. So you're still kind of ultimately limited on how many you can have. Okay. Spearbacks. So their range is much shorter, but now they're strength 5 AP too, and they just have 3 shots instead of 2d6. Interesting. That's much different, huh? But now they hit on a 3+ instead of a 4+. Huh, interesting. Oh, okay. I was like, okay. Interesting. Those seem like some actually very potent buffs. Oh wow. Okay. Nice. Good for weapon beasts. Back to Pterodon Riders. Removed Marking Bolas. Enclave spell changed from Spirit of the Woods to Entwining Roots. And they added the option for Marking Lure and special option to the Titanopod. Oh, so you can ambush from the... Oh, right! That's awesome. So I remember when I was talking with one of the members of the lab team, they were saying they had this idea where you could launch Pterodon Riders from the Titanopod, but I think they were trying to figure out how to do it. So this is how they do it. Is you still pay for a separate entry. You pay for your Pterodon Riders, but now there's an option. Let's see how many points that is even. Oh, it was way too far. Now there's the option to pay 25 points for the unit, and then one unit can ambush from the Titanopod, and So that I think they looks like they still have. So I think they had marking lure built in. They can pay for it now, or no, they had marking bolas, so they can pay for marking lure, which I think just affects any of their shooting options instead of paying for this. And bows and javelins are free now. I mean, because again, you're only getting like three or five shots per unit, so it's fine. Okay, that sounds very nice actually. I wonder if I think their wizard went down a little bit too. That's good. Okay, that's pretty cool. And you can ambush from the Titanopod. Okay, that's pretty sweet. I wish they had an ambush where they could move their full distance. Because I mean, when you ambush, you can only move your base move, which is still good. But yeah, that's definitely different. That's interesting. I mean, I think it's cool they just figured out a kind of a way to do it. Yeah, so Stygia Pack added option for Enclave Wizard, removed max number of units / army to 2. It makes sense. The Stygisaur unit was really good. And looks like it's just like a Wizard Apprentice for 30 points. That's great. That's fine. That works. And you still get like Savage Fury was such a good spell for this, and that's a great spell for this unit. Just like yes, solid. Very nice. Nice little upgrade. I don't know if that unit needed more, but hey, it's got it. Taurosaur is 0 to 2 units. I think they went from 0 to 3 to 0 to 2. And then Titanopod replaced the Barrier Trembles with Deafening Clamor. And I'm guessing that's the musician one in the main rulebook. And then remove pursuit restrictions on Walking Mountain rule. And then the Stomps is increased to 5d3. Those are, I think, all very solid changes. This is, deafening clamor. And then, it looks like they just got rid of the Restrute thing. In addition, the pursuit is 0. So now you actually can pursue with this thing, which is solid. Gosh, that is a very good upgrade. A very nice upgrade. Thank goodness. Because this is such a cool model. Just a cool unit, too. So I'm glad they gave it just a couple little buffs in the right direction. And hey, now you can ambush your Pterodon riders. That's pretty sick. So Howler Devices, Carved Wisdom went down 50 points. Oh, thank goodness. That's the one where you get the bound spell, right? It seemed so pricey when it first came out. Okay, so it lost channel. Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was a channel, but now you're just paying 40 points for bound spell. Still seems a little pricey. I don't know. It seems okay. But now it definitely seems a lot more accessible, even though the channel was nice. Just 90 points seems so expensive. The model of Tattlism went down 10. The Venom Fortress went down 15. Suncrutcher Pistol went down 10. Oh, man. Magnetic Shortbow went down 5. That's incredible. I feel like the Magnetic Shortbow is so good. Wow. Engine of the Ancients went down 5, and the Lodestone up 10. That's not that bad at all. Glory of the Dawn Age down 5. The Serpent's Nest Turn down 5. Vital Essence up 15. Coral Stone down 25. I thought they removed that. Tay Emery Smoke Stone down 5. Honorarch up 50. Wow. Honorarch Wardens down 10. His Forbidden Mastery is up 25, and then the other ones are down a bit, or quite a bit, in the Mind Shifting one. Cayman Master base cost down 20 points. That's nice. He's a cool little dude. And there's definitely some interesting builds for him. Oh, that's one where the Vital Essence was probably better on him than it was before, because I think he already has 4 wounds, 4 HP. Take a Veteran, Shield down, Paired Weapons up, Halberd up, Alpha Chronosaur up a little bit. Tegu Warriors, the Enclave Wizards down 30. That's like much cheaper now, because now you're not paying for that channel, you're just paying for a spell. Skink Warriors down, additional models. Again, Enclave down. Yeah, those Enclaves really dropping a lot of points now without having to The channels obviously were very nice, but I mean, 80 points just made everything was just pretty expensive in a lot of ways, wasn't it? Cayman Warriors base cost is down. Additional models are up. Halberds are a little bit up. Champion went down, and I think that champion still has a channel. Maybe it doesn't have it. Maybe it doesn't have a. Huh. Let me take a peek at that. Oh, because this is the Cayman Warriors. So yeah, their guy only gets one spell. So that makes sense why their guy went down to only 30 points. Tegu Guards up because they're good. Additional models up a little bit. Halberds upgrade opens up because again, Tegu Guards are awesome right now. Tegu Mystics down. Raptor Pack up. Raptor Pack, Raptor Riders base cost up. Yeah, Raptor Riders and Pack seem very solid. Although they did lose the combined strength with the Carnosaur. That's a bummer. I thought that was super cool. Cayman Elders down. Additional models down. Grey Open down. Enclave down. That's nice. Thyroscutus Herd down. Additional models up. Great Protector way down. I guess, yeah, because it did kind of get the nerf being just a war. I mean, it's a war platform, which is not the worst thing. It still does things well, but I feel like it was nice. It was nice not having to be in the center of the unit. Ramphanum Riders up. Additional models up. Saurian Swarms up. Additional models up. Gorillas. Blowpipes are not free anymore. They're 2 points. Midnight Short Bows are free, though. And then the Marking Lure is just something you put on your unit now. And that's 20 points. Weapon Beasts. Base cost went up to 230. But again, I think you get two... I think you just get 2 models to start now. Yeah, they're 2 models to start, so that's fine. That's just like basically including the same cost. If anything, slightly cheaper starting cost. Additional models are up to 115, and then the Salamander is 10 instead of 5, but it is strength 4 now. So, and it's a strength 4 rough weapon you can use every round. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, 2 of those guys now. That's 46 strength 4. I think that's going to see some play now. Pterodon Riders, base cost down. Midnight Short Bow free. Stygiosaur Pack down, and additional models up. All right. Very interesting. I would say the Saurian Ancients fared very well in this. I think these were actually some very just good changes to all-around rules. I think they really thought about a lot of these changes. I would say the one thing I'm the most sad about is just the fact that it's not even here. Combined strength is just gone, because I thought that was such a cool rule, and that was rough. But you can still do the Cayman mentors in the different units, so that's fine. Yeah, I actually think the Cayman part was cool, but I think where it came into effect was my favorite thing was just in some of the different places. Because actually, I guess now I think about it, because wasn't the Great Protector on the Thyroscutus Herd? Wasn't that? Oh, so you gain War Platform and exclusive Tegu Warriors, Tegu Guard. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's still solid. That's a nice combination, and it's not as expensive as it was beforehand. I mean, you're only looking at 225 points, and then you can still add on a Howler device. Yeah, that sounds fine. That sounds decent. Yeah, but man, I thought the combined strength was pretty dang cool. So I'm a little bit kind of bummed to see that. I'm guessing the Venom Fortress, if applicable, exclusive Tegu Warriors and Tegu Guard is replaced with exclusive Skink Warriors and Skink Hunters. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, some very interesting changes to the Saurian Ancients book. Friends, the sun is setting in Avras, and this video is going to be over. Thanks for staying around the entire time if you caught everything, and I hope you enjoyed all these different changes to both some important betas and alphas in our setting right now, and just some big changes for Arcane Compendium, and look forward to more Ninth Age content and more videos on these big updates this year for 2022 and a big balance patch.